What's up, everybody? Welcome to a new and fresh episode of Open Letters to a Survivor. I am one third of your host today, James. We got K Love in the building, and we also have Cassandra Williams. Definitely going to be an amazing show. A whole lot going on, but before we do anything, I think the first thing that we want to do is send out love and prayers and just well wishes to the Queen herself, Lady Poet. She has some things going on over this weekend. Some amazing things that she has been working diligently and very hard for, and we know that she is doing very well. I actually communicated a little bit with her today, and she is definitely doing very well. So she's going to be back with us in a couple weeks. But for now, the two ladies that I got here, K Love and Cassandra Williams, they have it all together. We have an amazing guest with us today. Um, the cool thing with this podcast is obviously we're doing a lot of things to help ourselves through, our own healing period and, just different things going on in our lives. But we're happy to be able to bring you something that is helping you and giving you the proper resources that you may or may not know are available. We are normalizing things like self care and talking to each other and really working to build each other and just get us all to a better place. So this is really amazing. We are so grateful for you guys. I can never keep up with what episode number this is, and Lady Poet usually keeps me in check with that. So I'm waiting on her to get back so she can catch me up to what episode we are on. But all that aside, we have an amazing guest with us tonight. I am going to pass the torch right now to Miss Cassandra Williams, who is going to introduce our guest today, who I know you guys are looking at her on screen already, and we usually don't start with the guest on the screen, but silly me, I didn't take her off, and it's all good because she needs to be here. So, Cassandra, it is all yours, and let's do this.
All right. So I'm gonna do this a little bit. Good evening, everyone. I'm gonna do this a little bit out of sequence. First, I'm gonna go ahead and introduce our guest, and then I'll open up with our letter, our Dear Survivor letter. So, our guest, I am extremely excited and honored to have with us today Mrs. Sabrina Hayes, CEO and founder of Armored Soul, who is also my high school classmate of the last dirty 30 years. So welcome, Sabrina.
Guys. And I should note, we are missing our 30-year reunion for this.
Mhm. We missed
This
it.
weekend.
That's okay. I saw all the pictures and stuff. So I feel like I was there a little bit. So thank you so much, Sabrina, for being with us again. Not only have we missed that, I know you've been on the road, and so you're coming to us fresh from traveling. So we're glad to see that traveling mercies have followed you.
Amen.
So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get started with our Dear Survivor letter for this. Um, all right, so Dear Survivor, be selfish. That's right. You heard me. Be selfish and take care of who? Take care of your kids? No. Take care of your significant other? Mm-mm. Take care of your parents? We love them. No. Your BFF? Mm-mm. Take care of yourself and be selfish about it. It's okay. Why? Because if you are not good, the other people and things you'd rather take care of won't be good either. So being selfish, so many of us were taught is a very negative way to act. But indeed, not being selfish enough to know how to care for yourself is one of the worst things for you to do. Self care is necessary for your mind, your body, your spirit, and essentially it serves and soothes your soul. Self care is soul care. Self care is the opposite of being selfless. It is sacred and selfish, and that's okay. Take care and be well on your self care journey. Sincerely, Lady Poet Speaks, K Love, the entire team of Open Letters to a Survivor. Today's guests, Sabrina Hayes, and me, Cassandra Williams.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I take
Always
snaps,
sprinkle
baby.
it.
I take snaps. So, with that being said, if you haven't captured it already, we are focusing on a theme of self-care Sunday. And so, again, we have with us to share in this topic our guest, Sabrina Hayes. We're going to go into our conversation tonight, and I'm going to turn it over to K Love to get us started.
Amen.
All right. Well, welcome, Miss Sabrina. I have fallen for you.
All right.
So I just want to say your products are wonderful, and I can't wait to go shopping. So let's start off with you telling us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. I am Sabrina Hayes. I am Miss Cassandra's classmate, class of 1994, Detroit Renaissance High School, Go Phoenix. And I'm a mom of 3 completely adult children. Can we get an amen in the room?
Amen.
It was a long journey. I have 3 adult girls. They are 26, 24, and 19. Last one is leaving the nest here shortly to go to college. So we'll be empty nesting for the first time in 30 years. It's awesome. My husband and I have been married 26 years in 3 days on the 1st. It'll be 26 years married and 29 together. So, and we are here in Miami, Florida. So if any of you guys want to self-care it down to the beach, you got a spot to lay your head, right?
Yes.
I am CEO and co-founder of Armored Soul, which is a faith-based and inspirational jewelry, accessories, home decor company. You can see some of it in the back there. And also Kingdom Girl, which is the wholesale side of Armored Soul, where we service other retail institutions and allow them to carry our brand. I'm also a preacher. So if I get a little bit preachy, I'm inclined to that. Bible is my second language. So I'm always looking for an opportunity to share the Lord. I'm not your typical traditional faith-based girl. I get, in the trenches when it comes to faith and spiritual warfare. You're not going to see me just clutching no pearls. I don't even wear pearls. So, I'm down to earth, very, very relatable. I love the Lord and I love serving people. Right.
Yeah.
And, God is just so good. And I just look for every opportunity, whether personally or professionally, to share that and to bring people inspiration and faith and encouragement through everything that I do. That's who I am.
Awesome.
I love that.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, what do we say after that?
I think that's amazing. I can say already, without a doubt, like you are very relatable, very down to earth. I think that's what, like, the minute you start speaking, I think that's like the biggest thing that I love about you already is just the fact that you're down to earth and, as you said, very relatable. And I think that those are highly necessary qualities, when you are faith-based.
Yes.
And, you want to, obviously talk to people and help people, and kind of like they need to feel like they can talk to you and like you're relatable. And that's so I think that's really amazing. Are we kind of going down the K Love and Cassandra, are we going down the list of the questions now, or?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure before I jumped in there and threw something out and you'd be like, oh, we ain't even know that part yet.
Oh, we would have flowed. Don't worry.
We got you.
And I should say, I have not looked at any list of questions. So everything is off the cuff. I love off the cuff.
The list that they sent is really just for us. Just to kind of know, just for us to keep on task and that sort of thing.
All right.
People have so many different reasons as to why they start their businesses. What was your reasoning for starting Armored Soul? Like, why did you feel like it was necessary?
Yeah, there's a lot of trash out there in terms of content right now.
Absolutely.
Absolutely 100%. And there's a lot of trash out there in terms of influencers, right? And people who are leading other people. And being the mom of 3 girls, I see what they are kind of inundated with all the time. And I wanted to be the antithesis of that. I wanted to give them real truth about who they are, about what they need to become as women, and what they needed to believe about themselves. And so that, coupled with my natural tendency to kind of be a nurturer and speak life and encouragement into people, just bore Armored Soul, and another brand I used to have, Kasana knows, but it's kind of been an evolution of brands. But I want to be one of those whose only job is to put light back into the world. There's so much darkness.
Yeah.
There's so much hatred. There's so much arguing. Like even this, we can't even watch the Olympics without people having meltdowns. So we need to be the opposite of that and speak peace and speak inspiration and encouragement. That's what we're supposed to do. And that's why I started doing what I do.
Awesome. So, as we focus on mental health, the topic of today's series, as we've already said, is self-care. Explain how Armored Soul helps in aiding someone in their own self-care.
Yeah, so my idea of self-care starts at surrounding myself with truth. We get on social media and we hear all types of stuff and we see all types of stuff, and our mind convinces us that it's real when it's not. And it actually hurts us rather than help us. Case in point, as a mom, I was a stay-at-home mom for a long time. But I get on social media and compare myself to other stay-at-home moms versus pouring in the truth of what I am as a mom and who I'm naturally inclined to certain things. I don't feed my kids tofu and spinach for lunch every day. I'm the one sending a $3 Lunchable, but they're getting fed. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's like grounding everybody in a truth, which for me is a Christian truth, because I am who I am. I'm a minister of the Word of God. Helps them to stay grounded in something that's healthy for their mind. It's like, I struggle with anxiety, but what does the word say? It says, cast all your anxiety on the Lord. So I'm going to give you a product that can help to remind you of that on your arm, on your sofa. I mean, that's right here. Right here. I'm backwards. I want to be able to provide products that literally put the truth of God's word on your body, on your shirts, on your sofa, in your office chairs. It can combat those thoughts that come into your head that disrupt your mental health flow. I'm not good enough. She's better than me. I could never do this. I'm struggling and will never recover. Like, there's an answer for all of that. And my only job with Armored Soul is to keep my ear to the ground and see what kind of messaging do people need to combat those lies that are tormenting your mind. That's why my products are so important. It helps you to think straight and to stay in a healthy mindset.
That is amazing. I hope you ladies do not mind. I got to throw another question in there. And this is listen, I've been interviewing for over 20 years. So I'm really good now. Like when guests come on to different platforms that I do and they get to talk and something else always come up and I'm like, okay, wait a minute, let me throw this in there. I think you made a great point when you said that, you're often looking at, other people who are doing things similar to you and you're comparing yourself to them. And I think that's one of the biggest things that we have to unlearn. We got to stop comparing ourselves to other people because they might do what they do, but you do what you do. And I have been so guilty of that for the last 20 plus years. So like maybe the last year or two, I've finally gotten into a place where I honestly feel like I don't have any competition because I do what I do. And people like my platforms and they follow me and they come to the things that I do because of who I am and what I do. And, even kind of going back to you saying that, there's a lot of bad content out there. It is. And like, that's one of the biggest difficulties that I have as a journalist is trying to get around all of the bad content because I just feel like they do our culture so bad. And so many people out there who are trying to be journalists and they want to be media personalities and they want to be content creators and they're just doing anything to get the clicks and and the visits and all of that kind of stuff. And for me, it's not about any of it. Like I could care less about that. I could care less about going viral, like all of that. I just need to know that I'm helping somebody, even if that's just one person. So I think it's beautiful what you do, but I think it's beautiful what you do with your business. But just in reference to the fact that you have spent time comparing yourselves to others, what things are you doing or are you putting in place to bring yourself out of that space?
So here's the thing. In 2024, it's next to impossible not to have this issue. I don't care who you are. Yeah. There's always somebody who is ahead of you in what you're trying to do. So we have to be very careful. And I was going to post this on social the other day, but one thing I have learned to do is to not let my inspirations become my idols.
Yeah.
Like I'm watching women who are also in the entrepreneurial space, who are doing multi-million dollars, who are where I want to be, who are successful in different business models that I would like to be in, like brick and mortar all over the country. How many followers does this retailer have versus how many I have? It's so easy to fall into that space.
Absolutely.
But one thing, the best thing that works is cutting everything out and saying, okay, what is my goal for me? I don't care what I see somebody else doing.
Right.
Bingo.
If my goal for my podcast, for example, is to just get to 1,000 consistent viewers, I'm focused on that. I'm not focused on the fact that she has 10,000. I'm working on my 1,000.
Right.
So I think the biggest strategy for what you described and asked right now is to focus on your next thing. And don't skip that and watch what everyone else is doing. What's your next thing? And when you find yourself falling into a place where you're looking at somebody else, you have to come back to your vision board, come back to your goal sheet, whatever it is. And you have to say, well, where am I in my next thing? Because I'm over here trying to cross the ocean when I haven't stepped over the stream yet.
I love that.
So I hope that answered. I think for me, that's 100%. And there's nothing wrong with drawing inspiration from people. I'm sure you guys look at these big podcasts, like they're huge. You say that's where you want to be, but they started somewhere too.
Absolutely. And I think what I'm really getting at, and you answered that perfectly. I think what I'm getting at, when I say we want to get ourselves out of that space, is a lot of people will put themselves down because of what somebody else is doing and how big it looks like they are. And listen, we all, like you said, we all start from somewhere. Everybody starts from somewhere. And it's really about being consistent.
Yep.
And you'll gain an organic following the more consistent you are and the more you come back. And even when it comes down to commenting and posting and that sort of thing, the more consistent you are, the more it catches on to more people. So I think it was a perfect answer.
Even when you talk about things like being a mom, funny story real fast. I once unfriended a friend of mine because I got so sick of her packing healthy lunches for her kids every day and posting them on Facebook. Every day they have carrots and tofu and homegrown mess. And I'm like, she's making me feel bad because I sent my kids to school with a Lunchable, right? And so I unfriended her because it was making me annoyed every day. I'm comparing myself to her.
Yeah.
And I had to realize, what? My kids are in love with their Lunchables.
Yeah.
Why am I making myself feel bad because I'm not her? That's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because her truth doesn't have to be your truth, but it doesn't mean that your kids aren't growing up and healthy.
And the truth of the matter is, another truth to speak to what you said, sir, everything you see on social media is not right.
Oh, trust me. When it comes down to those followers and the numbers that a lot of people have, a lot of that is not genuine. And because I've been in this for a long time, I know that they're buying them. A lot of them are buying them. And all it takes a lot of times is for you to go through and just read the comments. And you can see the AI and computer generated comments that are there. So, it's as you look more into it and you do more research, you really start to realize exactly what the game is. And then it helps you to understand how much better you're doing than what you think you are.
Than what you thought. That's right.
Absolutely. congratulations are definitely in order for you because your business was recently featured in New York Weekly as a brand you didn't know you needed. So tell us about receiving that recognition, what it meant to you, and obviously the work that you've done to service the community over the past few years.
Yeah, it's exciting anytime anybody really notices your brand. I'm not putting too much accolades on that because it's not really hard to get into media these days. I'm sure as a journalist, you know that. Mm-hmm. But they also don't publish pieces about trash either.
Absolutely.
So they could have not approached us at all, or they could have declined the written piece. But I think it's exciting because we're finally getting noticed and getting on the map. There's a lot of companies right now that just need people to see them. And for the longest time, that has been us. So we are excited to finally have eyes to see, if you will, and ears to hear what we have to offer. So we're really excited about that. That's the first of many pieces to come, I'm sure. Yeah. And I'm thankful for the opportunity. I really, really am very thankful.
How long has it been? Because you're noting that people are now beginning to see you. How long has it been, since you started?
So that's a loaded question. So Armored Soul is new, but it's a rebrand. It's a pivot of a former brand. Our former brand was 6 years old.
Okay.
And she did really, really well. It was a brand called Sanctuary Girl, but she had to undergo some operational healing and some personal healing and some redirection. So we actually closed Sanctuary Girl last year this time. So it's coming up on a year. Can you believe it, Cassandra, that Sanctuary Girl has been closed? And then Armored Soul just launched as a brand new rendition of Sanctuary Girl last month. So over 6 years, we did really well, but I still feel like we didn't have the eyes to see her very well. So that statement comes from the longevity of Sanctuary Girl. So I'm going to change that with Armored Soul. Y'all going to see her all over the world.
I love it.
Speak it.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kayla.
No, I was just telling her speak it. I was in agreement.
Now, I love your story primarily because my story resonates with yours. My brand, well, again, I've been doing media for 20 plus years. My brand that I have now, I officially launched it because I was just out there just doing stuff kind of, I hate to say for the fun of it, but I mean, this has long been my passion. So I think the first decade of me being in media, a lot of it, I was doing it just to be doing it, just to be having fun doing something. But I officially launched it as a brand in 2014. And I think this is probably the first year that I'm actually seeing the profit because, obviously when you make money, you're putting it back into your business.
Yes.
So, and, when you don't necessarily go to school for entrepreneurship, I mean, I've gone to school, I've graduated, I have degrees, but it was not in entrepreneurship. So a lot of stuff you are learning on the cuff and on the fly and as you do it. And you make several mistakes along the way. And, a lot of times when you're doing stuff for your business, you're funding that stuff out of pocket. Yeah. So that's where I have been for the last decade. Yeah. And, everybody thinks you're crazy. And it's like, you got these degrees and this is what you're doing. And you're not, and this is not. But I think it really goes back to having faith and believing and, obviously believing in your dream and what it is that you want to do and your passion and just keeping going. Yeah. So this is like the first year that I'm actually seeing the profit now. And it's so good because when I tell you I have been, it's almost like Tabitha Brown. Like I've been driving Uber for 5 years, 6 years. And, probably the last 2.5 years, I've only been doing Uber so that I can just do the business. And I think that's where a lot of the mistake was, even though I don't regret it. I maintained a full-time job and working part-time other places and, while I have been doing the business as well. Mm-hmm. So it's only been the last 2.5 years that I've really just focused on the business, and obviously driving Uber to make sure I can pay the house and all that stuff. But now it's getting to a place where if I'm kind of running low on funds, then money starts coming in from the business, and it's like, okay, this is working. Okay, it's actually doing something now.
Yeah.
So I think my story resonates very closely to yours. So like I think that's amazing, and kudos to you, because there's so many people who would give up, especially after that 6-7 years that you ran one and you had to shut it down. There's a lot of people who would just go get a job and be done with it and say, this is not for me. Or, So you stuck with your dream and you retailored it.
Yeah.
And made it something else. And here it is only a month in, and people are now recognizing, which also speaks to the fact that a lot of times you are ahead of the game. So a lot of times people aren't ready for what it is that you're doing.
Right.
And, with what I'm doing now, it's a lot more difficult because there's so many people out here now who are content creating and they're doing media on their own but when I first started doing it, there was nobody else.
Yeah.
So that's the time. If there's anything I regret, it's probably not catching on in the very beginning, because nobody else was doing it. So like I could have taken it and really run with it and really done some stuff. But the pandemic helped a lot as well. Obviously it was bad in so many ways, and so many people suffered from the pandemic. But then when it comes to the media business, I think that it helped so many things, because it opened people's eyes to doing Zooms and doing StreamYard and doing that sort of thing. So now a lot more celebrities, a lot of times you can't get them, or you can't get them to come to your station or to your office or that sort of thing, because they got so much stuff going on. But when they know that, hey, I can sit in the car and I might be riding, or I might be sitting in the airport, but I got my phone. I can do it on my phone.
Yeah.
Or I can go to a quiet place or go to the library and do it on my phone. So it makes it a lot more easy for you to get the people that you want now, because there's so much more accessibility and so many different resources that are available too. So I love your story. Like, I think it's amazing, and I think it speaks to anybody out there who wants to start a business, who needs to know kind of the inside of it, because people think that, oh, I just want to work for myself because I don't want no boss and I don't want to deal with all this other stuff. But they don't realize that you work so much harder when you're working for yourself.
Facts. Jesus. Back to self-care, Bob.
And those are usually the ones, that in the end they fail, because a lot of these people, they really just don't want to work. Is what it usually comes down to. So now I think
I'm going to say throughout all of it, no matter which way it goes, that's where that self-care piece comes into play. No matter what your journey is, you have to be able to take care of yourself and be mindful of what's going on with you, because everything else is going to impact you in one way or another, but you got to pay attention to how, because that stuff, again, it begins to affect your mind. It begins to affect your body. And that's why, and Sabrina, I resonated a lot as I was particularly preparing for you to come on with the name Armored Soul, because it goes in so many different ways. Even today, I was hearing in the name Arm Her Soul, right? So like you have all of these things, and you spoke to it, and mental health and what have you. And I still listen, girl, every day.
Oh my gosh, I need to send you some new stuff. We got the vintage stuff going on.
Every day, vintage, every day. Even when I needed it a lot. For those who may know my story, when I journeyed from East Coast back to the Midwest and had never driven before on the highway. That was, and when I tell you it carried me, and I still, when I drive, if I don't have it on, it's in my purse. I have it with me, because there's something about having the word of God with and on you in a physical type of way that's different from even having it just in your mind and what you know, but to see it. And I think that's what your brand speaks to see 100%. It, to hear it, to feel it. Makes it different. And so I saw the post the other day with a guy in the court who's wearing one of your jackets. Yeah, so that manifestation is coming through, sis. So it's definitely coming. So
Yeah.
I'm going to transition us because we are, of course, open letters to a survivor, right? And on our show, we have a pledge that we have for our viewers. And so I'm going to read the pledge. And my question to you with that, Sabrina, and I'll repeat it after I read it, is why do you believe this pledge is important, especially for communities for people of color? Okay. So I'm going to read the pledge and then I'm going to come back to that question, the importance of it, okay, from your perspective. So our open letters to a survivor pledge. Today, we pledge that we will not let survivors fight alone, that upon disclosing abuse, we will not only stand in the gap in prayer, but assist in resources. We will believe and guide them through the trauma and let them know they are not alone. Today, we stand up for every survivor whose voice shakes when telling their story. For survivors who choose to heal loudly because they had to be quiet for so long. When families and the justice system fails them, we will still uplift them and help them find their worth. We pledge today to continue our work and fight for survivors. And
That's good.
what do you feel is the importance of that pledge, particularly for people of color?
You know, what's interesting about that is it has a general theme woven throughout it of togetherness, of doing this together. But I really feel like in 2024, we as people of color, particularly Black people, because people of color are everybody really, but for Black people, African American people, I feel like in this year, this season we're in, we've lost that village aspect of how we do life. And I know you guys, I don't know how old you are, but if you're from my generation, I'm a Gen Xer. Village life was huge. I couldn't go down the street and act up because Miss Jenkins would twist me by my ear and bring me home. You can't do that these days. You'll probably get cussed out by somebody's mama. You know,
At best.
and we were constantly as a community watching out for one another.
Right.
You know, I didn't have to worry about my girls down the street at that time because I knew all eyes were on all the kids, even if they weren't related to me. We don't do that so much anymore. So a lot of people are suffering in silence. So that pledge is hugely important. It's not just a pledge. I think it's a challenge, to be very honest. It's a challenge to get back to the village lifestyle of doing life together and looking out for one another.
Yeah.
And social media, unfortunately, too, has negated the deepness and authenticity of relationship we should have. Because I see you on Facebook, but I only see what you present to me. I don't go deeper than that.
Right.
But what you're presenting to me is likely not the real state of affairs for your life. You know, so it's a challenge to me to go beyond what I think I see, what I think I know, to really see how are you doing? What are you struggling with? How are you hurting? How can I help you? How can I support you? And to really begin to think outside of our own homes and our own circles. It's a challenge to get back to that village mode of living that we as a community used to have. We don't have it anymore. It's every woman, every man for himself out here in these African American streets.
And every child, unfortunately.
True.
Yeah.
We're out here flossing. We want everybody to know what we have. When the person next to us can't pay their rent and is on their way to getting evicted.
Right.
You know, we're over here putting pictures of our marriage. It's so amazing. It's so this and that. When the girl goes to the mailbox next door with a black eye every day. And we mind our business.
Right.
We'd rather share the tea and gossip about it and be the first person to film the couple next door having a physical fight than we would step in and help.
Yeah.
It's a crazy time. So I love the pledge. I think it's a challenge for people of color to begin to see one another beyond what they think they see and to really be brave and to ask the hard question, how are you really doing?
Right.
And how can I support you? You know, I consider that a challenge for me.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take up that challenge and be more intentional. about going beyond the Facebook post. There's more to it than that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that with me.
Well, thank you for responding to that, because like you said, that's a call to action. And it's moving beyond the hope and prayers. Like, okay, and then what? You know, and I'm not downplaying prayers, but you got to put some action to it.
Right.
So, you know, it's got to be more than that. And so to have access to resources that can pull you through and up to that next level, that's what we have to do.
That's what you have to do.
And as a believer, you already understand, you already have the foundation of what all of us should have inside of us, which is just love and kindness and care for the next person.
That's it.
You know, and the fact that we have gotten so desensitized, we've allowed the culture of the country or even the world to just say, yeah, that's another human being, but I can't get involved in that, you know, because I mean, I'm doing me over here.
Yeah.
And what they got going on ain't got nothing to do with me, but it very well could indirectly.
Yeah.
You know, because we're sharing our story because we know somebody else has gone through what we've gone through. And it's for us to share so that we can help somebody survive like we did.
Yeah.
That's the whole premise of all of this. And just like what you said, we have to take the challenge. You know, what kind of human beings are we if we can't have compassion and empathy for the next man?
You know why? Is because that has turned into entertainment. Think about it. The stuff that's available on TV, even reality TV, people are fighting and we're loving it. It's drama, you know, the Real Housewives stuff.
And half of that ain't even real.
But we take it in. So when you see it in real life these days, my daughter told me in high school, when the kids would fight, there's no move to break it up. Everybody pulls out their phones. They want to be the first to go live with the violence. And that's what we've come to is we want to, it's entertainment.
Right.
And we have to find a way to break that. And like you said, become more like cognizant that this is real stuff. This is not entertainment.
Yeah. You know? We've been brainwashed tremendously. And it's unfortunate because we're passing down poor behaviors to the next generation and the next generation and the next generation.
For sure.
You know, but that's why our wonderful CEO and creator of this podcast came up with that, because if just one person steps in and helps somebody, that could be potentially a life saved.
100%.
You know, and that's all we want. We want to show that there are people still out here who love other people and who care about what you're going through, and that you don't have to go through it alone. And if you contact us, you won't go through it alone. We've already went through it. So we already know what that feels like. So we know what needs to be said and done to reach out and help somebody.
That's good.
You know, so, and I just want to add a little tidbit about your products. When you were talking about the different things, you know, that you can wear on your body and stuff like that. That's wonderful. That's fabulous. But I was remembering how one of my friends, to mentally and spiritually stay focused, I got in her car one day and she had all these sticky notes all over her dashboard. And I'm looking at her like, is she okay? But that was amazing, because what it was doing for her was keeping her focused, reminding her of the word of God, and reminding her what she needed to focus on and do for her self-care. So if you don't already have some stuff for the vehicles, sister girl, we need you to create something. Yes, create something. Did she freeze? What happened? I think her computer froze.
Yeah, I think she did for a second. She'll pop up here now.
Okay. But yeah, that's just another idea to put out there, you know, if you haven't already.
Yeah, no, that sticky note thing is actually, I mean, I've seen people, you know, you see people that put them on the mirror and that's
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it definitely works though.
I have them on my bathroom mirror.
Yeah. My other girlfriend does that too.
Mm-hmm.
When I go over her house, I'm like, I can't see in the mirror because got all these dang sticky notes. But it worked. It helped her stay focused. It helped her stay encouraged. And that was her self-care. You know?
Right.
So
and I think that's the thing, is defining self-care and what that is, because it's personal. It is what it is for every person, and it looks different. It's not always for one person. It's not getting your hair done and your nails and your this and that. And for somebody else, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah,
but
or going shopping.
It still has to soothe you. You know, it has to soothe your soul, and that's why I said self-care is soul care. It's not just about the exterior of it. It can be.
Right.
Self-care is all intensive, you know. And so, like you said, when you got in her car, hey, if that's what works for her, that's what works for her. If it scares you half to death and it don't work for you, you can't get in the car like that. It ain't your car to get in.
So I imagine she'll pop back in any minute. She was trying to, I see she's trying to get back in, but it's not showing.
Not right now. We can't see you, Sabrina.
Yeah, I don't know if she can. Let's see. I don't know if you can hear us, Sabrina, but we can't see you though. Yeah, it don't seem like she can hear us either. So I imagine she'll pop back in. It may have been somewhere internet connection, or I'm not sure.
Right.
So we'll just wait for her to pop in. We do have Tim in the backstage though.
Well, what I'll do is, until she pops back on, because you know we're loving her vibe. And yes, Kat. We have a viewer who says she's been taking some self-care classes. Get it however you gotta get it.
For myself, to express myself. That's it.
Yes.
That's exactly what it is.
Yes.
Whatever that looks like for you.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. But you have to be intentional though about taking the time. And it doesn't have to take all day and half the night.
Right.
It can be 5 minutes.
Can you hear us, Sabrina?
She said she can see
she's
her
backstage.
Oh, wait a minute. I see a new window there. Okay, I got it. Okay.
Hey!
I can see myself backstage the whole time.
I said
The devil is a lie. Come on.
Right.
That's how we know we on track. All right.
I'm like, what is happening right now?
Well, thank you for coming back in with us.
Listen, I'm not going. I'm fighting to be here. Come on now.
I think this is amazing. I know we're getting close to the end, but this has been so amazing having you on the podcast. Like everything that you're saying speaks to all of our journeys. So like, I think it's amazing.
Yeah, I think I should schedule myself for another one, but this time having gotten you guys some product boxes so we can do like a whole unboxing.
Yeah, that's when you feel special when somebody say product box. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, because Armored Soul is now a unisex brand too, so it'll be good to have a man unbox some stuff. And
listen. When I tell, I love when we get people that do candles and stuff like that. I'm like, send them on, send them.
Yeah, I'll get the addresses and all of that, and get you guys some stuff, and maybe you can do like a holiday edition. Hey, that's what I did.
I was just thinking that.
Black-owned businesses, holiday edition.
Yes.
Just thinking that.
I think this is so amazing. I'm definitely down for that.
You like how she just rebooked herself, right?
Amen.
Because that's
called self-promoting. You do that, girl.
take notice. Like she came on here and she's going to for the next episode.
Well, listen, here's the thing. When you said you were like, I didn't go to school for entrepreneurship. I don't have a degree the first.
Yeah.
I don't. Every time I tried to go to college, I got pregnant. So I said, forget that, because I'm gonna have kids. If I keep this up trying to go to school, I would register, get pregnant. Register, get pregnant. I looked at my husband and I said, is this the plan here? What's
Right.
You know what? It's just life, because the reality is I started college all the way back in 1995. So like it's crazy that I did very well in high school, and then I got to college and I said, let me start partying and drinking and smoking and just let me just go ahead and flunk out, because I don't have no sense now. So I got kicked out of school twice. And after the second time, they took my aid and everything. So I was out of school for probably about 6 years until my son came along. And then it was like, get your stuff together. Like, go back to school, get your stuff together. So I got a car, my license was suspended. I was just out here living. So I got all that stuff together before he got here. So I was, had my license back, had a brand new car, was back in school, graduated. But I say all of that just to really speak on the fact that as far as like the media and the journalism, like everything I was actually doing before I got my degrees. So it's like you can do this stuff out here. I mean, obviously, school is important. I think it's a profession, and there's so much that you can get from it. But you can definitely go and accomplish these things. I think Sabrina froze up on this again.
It's so funny because she freezes making the same face.
Right.
Okay, she's back. She said, can we see her?
Let me see. No, we still see the frozen image. We don't see.
Yeah, she just went out, so she'll come back in. Okay, here we come.
See, it's like it's just a. Yeah,
just
we just see
glitch. Just a little glitch.
Like
so
said,
while we're working on bringing Sabrina back, let me get some of our other business done. Spotlighting. While we're talking about business and entrepreneurs, we have to recognize our very own Tim Stevens, who will be launching his business very soon. He says September 16th of this year is actually the day of launch, and it's called Righteous Brothers. Yeah, so check it out on Instagram at right.brothers216. Look right, feel right, stay right. Okay. And then also, Cassandra, has it aired yet?
Which one?
Oh, you're doing the exact thing. The Modern Titus to Women title.
Yes, that's available on Spotify.
Awesome. So our wonderful Cassandra will be interviewed, or has been interviewed, on the Modern Titus to Women titled The New Beginnings, From Pain to Empowerment. So please check that link out. I think it's on our site, Open Letters to a Survivor. You can check that link, and it'll be a podcast group on our Survivors podcast group on Facebook. Cool. So to find out how to be in our spotlight, please just email us, openletters2a survivor.com, survivor@gmail.com, my apologies, and put in the message spotlight so we can spotlight your business. Yeah, we're here talking about self-care and mental health and all of that, but we also want to make note of our local businesses or people all over, like our lovely lady in Miami, Florida.
Listen, can y'all see me?
Yeah.
Yes.
I tell you what, Lord.
Oh, no.
Maybe I should have anointed my computer before we started this.
and so you know what? That's the beauty. Tell your friends, like that is the beauty of what. Don't laugh at me, Cassandra. Listen, I love Cassandra. You can't ever go nowhere because you're like you my cheerleader in the back. Like you keep me laughing. I think this is a testament to what we offer here. Like we are, just the same way as you are relatable and you are down to earth, so are we. Like we are having a good time doing something that we love. We helping people. And we also realize that with what we are doing, we are working with technology. And technology.
But what's crazy is I never have this problem. I go live all the time.
Do
I never have this problem because
but then we'll get on here and it'll freeze for whatever reason.
And again, actually, that's how we know we on track with you.
I am on a brand new iMac, like a nice baby blue. I got 18G internet going on.
Yeah,
what this drama is.
Sometimes, no matter how good of a resource and product you have, something just always you get.
It's called the devil.
Yeah. and we just work around it because honestly, what I've learned, from doing this for so long is a lot of times when it freezes, unless you freeze for, 4 or 5 minutes, a lot of times the people on the viewer side don't see the freeze. Like it kind of edits itself for the viewer. So a lot of times they don't necessarily see that. And here we are sitting here like, oh my God, like they're gonna be gone and they're not. Half the time they can't even see what's going on. But
okay, good.
But no, you are A-okay because we've also learned that when our guests have technical difficulties, we just move on to something else. Now look, K Love. Oh no, she's not. I was gonna say, look, K Love is frozen, but then she started moving her head.
I'm here.
All right, Mama, go on to the next question.
Yeah, you better ask fast before this computer acts up again.
Who got that last question? Is that you, James?
You got the next one.
It can be. I thought I only picked 2 or 4, but I can do it though.
Hold on. I think my question was, which she may have answered it, but we're gonna ask it again. What can you say to encourage someone who's struggling with their own self-care?
What do they say on the airplane? Put your oxygen mask on first.
Then we had this conversation before.
Yeah. Because the fact of the matter is you cannot pour from an empty cup.
Right.
You cannot help. You are literally hurting other people by existing in a perpetual state of hurt yourself. Mm-hmm. Your kids are not getting the benefit of you. Your spouse is not getting the benefit of a healthy and rested you. Your business, your ministry, whatever you're doing is not getting the benefit of a whole you if you do not take care of yourself.
Right.
And that's unfair to them. So you have to take care of yourself so that you can be everything you need to be, not just to yourself, but to other people as well. So you got to start with yourself.
Amen.
It's selfish not to practice self-care. That's crazy to think about it that way. Mm-hmm. But it's selfish not to practice self-care.
And that's exactly what I said in my letter. And we did not rehearse this. Okay.
Cha-ching! Cha-ching! Great minds.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Class
That's why this is what do we say? We say this is alignment. This is alignment. Everything is connecting as it should.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
For sure.
And so Sabrina, while we still got you on, girl.
Right. Last question.
We gonna bring it in.
Come on. Hurry up.
So, what's coming up next for Armored Soul and how do we contact you?
So, armoredsoul.com is our website. We are quasi-launched, but not really. We did a super soft launch just with a familiar audience, family and friends, but we're preparing, I think, in 2 weeks' time to launch mass public, which I'm really excited about. But you can shop now. It is live and available. It's just we're not like, because we want to tighten up some things before we do that. We're really excited about the wholesale side, which is Kingdom Girl. So if you are a retailer or you have a merch brand of your own.
Uh-oh. Oh, man.
We almost made it.
We having too much fun.
Well, let's go ahead and pull Tim in. While we wait for that to kind of correct itself, and then we can try to finish her on back in. Let's see.
Awesome.
Hey, Mr. Tim. Look,
Look like he buffering too.
Tim is buffering now. We got her. Okay, we got you.
There she is. Sorry, Sabrina.
ArmoredSoul.com.
Right. Amen.
Amen. Listen, we are so grateful to have met you for
She
this.
coming back anyway. Remember, she coming back anyway.
Now listen, Lady Poet, I know you watching. I know you are watching, Lady Poet. I'm gonna need you to simmer down over there because every time we get somebody good on here, you be the made of a regular. So like, cause Cassandra was a guest and she became a host. So we will gladly take Sabrina.
Oh my gosh, this is so crazy.
The question is, will Sabrina take us? That's the question.
Of course I will. I told y'all the plan. I gotta get y'all product box. We'll do a fun product
No, I'm
box.
sorry. Not Sabrina, Sabrina's computer. Will that take?
Right.
I literally, so I'm a preacher too, right? And I do teaching all the time. And I've never had this happen before. Literally never. So I don't know what this is, but you
It's
know,
all good. Listen,
It's a
all
test, and we all passed.
Yes,
we all passed.
I just want to say, just from myself, I'm grateful to have met you now. I think it was amazing. I think it was very necessary for us to come together and just for us to kind of build off of each other. I'm looking forward to you. I don't know what date you scheduled, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna let Cassandra and K Love close you out and everything. But thank you so much for coming on.
Yes.
It was definitely an honor and a pleasure,
Yes.
and we definitely will do it again.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I loved everything about you. And all I'm going to say is just put one of every product to the side for me. And just send me the bill, my tab.
I can't stand K Love. One of every product to the side.
How about I do this? How about you go shop, put your cart together. I can see it on my end, even if you don't check out.
Okay.
I'll apply a secret discount, and then you go and check out.
Okay.
That
All
I can do.
That sounds good. That's a way to start some business. What you say?
Come on. And we
Now,
also
because we're gonna put you on the map in Cleveland. I mean, we got wonderful entrepreneurs that do business and have spiritual sayings and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And we're gonna meet a few of those also on the show later on.
Okay.
But still,
Yeah. Yeah.
You
And we
bring
can
that
chat in the background. I'm just here to serve, whether that means contributing to somebody else's business or putting something on somebody's arm that they need to hear, or even coaching, like business consulting. I do that too, right? We also own a graphic and brand design firm, which is another thing that we do to help people build a brand in excellence. So we are all about serving other people because that's what God commanded us to do. So we're here to serve. We're here to help.
Yes, love it, love it, love it.
Well, Sabrina,
yes.
thank you so much. I think that was a perfect close, so I am not going to try to go on top of that. But I do sincerely thank you for coming on to our podcast this evening. I know that our viewers have enjoyed this show and taken away a lot for themselves in terms of self-care and even a better understanding of entrepreneurship. And some of the things that you have to go through and how you kind of have to withstand storms to get through it. But in the meantime, again, like you said, that oxygen mask, you have to take care of yourself no matter what your situation is. Because if you're no good, nobody's any good. So thank you so much, Sabrina. We will be working on bringing you back in December. As you have booked yourself. I'm not mad at you.
Awesome.
Oh, the audience is like, that was so hood. She's just maybe they
how we roll over here on Open Letters.
No, I am more than happy. Anytime we can speak on a diverse, array of topics. My husband and I both, even if you have something where we can come on together, we're more than happy to serve. We do marriage ministry, all kinds of stuff. So I'm always here as a resource. Again, this is village life. So This is what we do, full circle.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Sabrina.
Thank you guys.
Thank you,
Have
love.
a good night,
Bye.
Sabrina. Thank you
Bye.
so much for coming.
I think that was great.
Yes.
I think
And
that was
before
good.
we have our motivational, let me also let's go to therapy for one hot second, because we may have some new viewers who are not aware. Our Let's Go to Therapy segment is basically us introducing some resources to you so that if you do need to get some type of help, you can at least start with the resources that we have for you. So check out Belinda Williams with the Cleveland Health and Wellness Center, specializing in trauma. So if you feel you are in need of those type of services, you can email her at belinda@chawc.org. And then we also have Dr. Shamara Hutchins with a flexible approach to therapy. So if your work schedule or your life is topsy-turvy and you don't do the traditional 9 to 5 hours, her organization works with you according to your schedule. So serving our people and our trauma, creator of the Melanated Minds Network. And you can look her up on all social platforms under Mindologist. And if you are in therapy and you want to give us your information so that people can reach you for therapy, please email us to openletterstoasurvivor at gmail.com and put in the subject content therapy. And we will reach out to you and get your information and put you on our podcast. And here we have Brother Tim.
I'm going to do the last piece real quick, and then that way we can close out on our motivational minute. Our new spot as well is for sponsorship. So,
Yes.
So we're looking for sponsors to help support our podcast as well. So we're asking that you please join us in making a difference by sponsoring Open Letters to a Survivor. You can help amplify the vital conversation about mental health and address disparities in support available to people of color. Become a sponsor today. Be part of our mission to heal together. Email us at openletterstoasurvivor.com and in the subject line put sponsor. And so now we're going to turn it over to Tim and we're going to close out.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
How's everybody doing today?
Wonderful.
Good.
I'm glad. I was glad to even just listen. I was just enjoying hearing Sabrina talk about her business and about her ministry. And the key thing that I got out of all the things she was talking about is self-care. Because as you're being a leader, as you're leading out, and as you're helping everyone else out, and as you want to help everybody else out, as you want to stand strong, as you want to stand up for what's right, you have to take care of yourself as well. Because I've been learning that for myself, because I have a therapist as well, and real soon I plan on taking a little spiritual sabbatical from everything in the world, tune out from the phone, and just have the time for meditation with me and the Lord, and help my mental out, because a lot of things going on in this world, a lot of things is hitting me at once, and I think because my pastor, he's currently on sabbatical right now, and I've just been thinking about that it's okay to take a step back from some things and get yourself together, because in order for you to really be a blessing to the kingdom, being a blessing to others, being a blessing to your community, being a blessing to your family, you gotta keep yourself up to par. That's the only way you're going to be able to give back. So in life, we have to continually keep that in mind. You got to continually think about you first before others. And sometimes it's not. I ain't gonna even say sometimes it's not selfish. It's about you gotta be the best you, so you could be the blessing to everyone else. Because even in my life, in my journey, I've just been I always used to think about others before me. And one of the deacons of my church, he even would say, I notice you doing a lot, and that's great, but who's taking care of you? And that really stuck out to me, because that's important, because you can't shorten yourself and try to be a blessing to others, because it's just not going to work. You're not going to be able to give your all. But in life, I just want to tell you all this. It's important, as you get better, as you take care of you, as you be the best you, as you encourage yourself in the Lord, then it's time to stand up for something. Stand up for what's right. Stand up for something even bigger than yourself. Helping others out. Helping that village, because that's important. In life now, I see everyone a lot of times is for themselves. Just trying to get theirs and not trying to spread for others as well. Because this is even a small thing. Last week, and I was coming home, I saw a lady with a sign out on the side of the street, and I noticed I had some food from my church in the box, and I had it in my mind. I couldn't wait to eat it when I got home. But I said, you know what? I can get another dinner. So I just went to the side of the street and handed it to her. Just the little things, because even in the book of James it says faith is dead without good works. And I believe your prayers is dead without good works as well. You can't always say, I'll pray for you. I ain't gonna do nothing else, but I'll pray for you. It's great to pray, but you gotta put your prayers into action as well. You gotta stand firm and stand strong and stand up for what's right. Because even in the Bible, many great leaders stood up for what's right. Job stood up for what's right. David stood up for what's right. Moses stood up for what's right. Peter and John stood up for what's right. But the greatest of them all is Jesus. If it wasn't for Jesus standing up for us, we would not be here today. So I just encourage you all to stand up strong and stand with great determination that you're not going to let anything stop you from what you want to do. Because if the Lord placed it for you, it's going to be for you. No one else can take what's for you. What's meant for you will always be for you. Never give up. Never quit. There's going to be some suffering along the way, because if you're doing what's right, if you're really fulfilling the call that the Lord has for you, there's going to be some challenges and some complications and some storms coming about. But you got to continually stand strong and push on. And I'm just going to leave you all with this from Ephesians chapter 6, starting at verse 10. Paul said this as well. A final word: be strong in the Lord and in his mighty power. Put on all God's armor so that you will be able to stand firm against all strategies of the devil. For we are not fighting against flesh and blood enemies, but against evil rulers and authorities of the unseen world, against mighty powers in this dark world, and against evil spirits in the heavenly places. Therefore, put on every piece of God's armor, so you will be able to resist the enemy in the time of evil. So then, after the battle, you will be standing firm. Stand your ground, putting on the belt of truth and the body armor of God's righteousness. For shoes, put on the peace that comes from the good news, so that you will be fully prepared. In addition to all these, hold up the shield of faith to stop the fiery arrows of the devil. Put on salvation as your helmet, and take the sword of the Spirit, which is this Bible, the Word of God. Pray in the Spirit at all times and on every occasion. Stay alert and be persistent in your prayers for all believers everywhere. So as you pray and you put your prayers into action, as you're working, as you're striving to help others, as you're striving to be about the Lord's business, continually allow the body armor, the armor of God, to cover you. As I love the theme for today, armored soul. As you're having the armored soul, hold up and put on the armor of God. That's how you have an armored soul. Continually allow the Lord to cover you, and you will blossom. But stay encouraged. Stay encouraged. Never give up. Never quit. Keep pressing.
Okay, hopefully he comes back in. I'm late on my next show. So we got
Stand firm. And stand strong. And stand strong. And God, Lord Jesus, He will continually allow you to blossom and bring you through. Hold on to Jesus. Allow Jesus to see you through within your business, within your calling, within what you're doing on your job, and even in the community. And He will see you through. As I love this saying, and it's a scripture as well. Put your eyes on Jesus. Meditate on Jesus. He will keep you in His perfect peace. Stand strong and push on. Never give up. Push on and push on. God bless you and God keep you.
All right.
All
Well,
right.
we want to say thank you to everyone who viewed the show tonight. Please push like, share, and subscribe. And we just thank you, and we will see you next week. Good night.
Good night.